The genesis of Orbitz was basically a consulting engagement that two big airlines undertook to try to extract some of the value from the Expedia's impending IPO in exchange for access to their fares. So they hired BCG to help frame a negotiating approach. And then a few days before the IPO, we went and pitched Rich Barton, who was the CEO of Expedia at the time, the concept of, hey, these airlines will come together and give you exclusive access to their fares in exchange for equity in the company.
But it wasn't that nice, was it? I mean,
the tenor of the conversation depends on where you were sitting in the room. So I think there was a little bit of perhaps arrogance on the part of the airlines that it's their fares that were actually that valuable, not just the technology and the technical underpinnings of what Expedia had already built. So I think there was a little tension there, and I think the timing was a little bit aggressive too, given that these guys had put in a lot of work to go public.
And wasn't there sort of two pieces of paper in hand? One was a contract, give us equity, such and such equity, and the other one was a press release about Orbitz.
Yeah, well, there was a carrot and there was a stick, right? and the carrot was, hey, here's a piece of paper that framed the basis of, how we might trade fare access for equity, and the terms were meant to be negotiated, honestly. And then the stick was a press release that we were going to put out the day of their IPO that said basically the four of the largest 5 airlines were coming together to form a competitor against Expedia that we thought might impact their valuation.
But to your surprise, Expedia didn't negotiate.
I think everyone was a bit surprised by that,
Yeah.
and what that really did, it was a pity for everyone all the way around, because it resulted in the creation of Orbitz, which was a little bit duplicative to what Expedia was trying to do, and it stiffened the resolve of the airlines to make Orbitz happen in a way that perhaps wasn't there before that.
One of the other stories I wanted you to talk about was negotiations or meeting Brad Gerstner from National Leisure Group, which was a powerhouse in the cruise and vacation package arena. And you met him in Chicago for the first time. How did that go down?
We did. Brad's a great guy. I've known him for a long time, and this was one of our first meetings. And at the time, I was running business development for Orbitz, and my job was basically monetize the heck out of the website. We had flights, which was doing okay, but we needed to get hotels and cars and vacation packages. And at that point in time, we had an audience, but we really didn't have any functionality for vacations or cruises. So I invited NLG in and a couple other vendors, and then just tried to bluff the best business terms that I could get. And we were a little bit cash starved at the time because we had to go to the airlines for capital. So one of my missions was to get cash in as part of any business development deal. So I basically went out to lunch with Brad and Joel Cutler, who's another amazing guy who had bankrolled NLG. And I said, hey, here are the business terms. We need $1 million check at the end of lunch today to actually do business with you guys. And we hadn't negotiated business terms. We didn't have a contract. We didn't have anything. I said, but I need that check. And Brad tried to play a bit for time because it was a completely unreasonable demand. But Joel, to his credit, readily accepted the terms, and then we shook hands and had a very nice couple bottles of wine. We had IPO'd Orbitz in December 2003, and Joel called me up and said, hey, come out to Cambridge. I need to talk to you about an idea. And at the time, he was thinking about investing behind a company called SciStep, which was a downloadable plugin for your browser that kind of searched Southwest Airlines, basically, and Frontier and some other airlines while you were navigating Expedia or Orbitz. And he said, would you consider being the CEO of this company if I invested behind it? And I said, well, Joel, the idea has a lot of merit, i.e. searching other travel sites in one place, but let's not do it at this valuation for 40% of the company. Let's not make it a downloadable app. Let's make it a standalone website. And yeah, I'll be the CEO. And we hashed out a deal very, very quickly thereafter.